Bears Fan Podcast, episode 141. I had it set on talking about the combine and all that other stuff, but we're going to have to put that on the back burner. Drew Dalman retires today, age 27, coming off of his most healthy season he's had in his career. Started all, 18 games for us? 19, 18. 19.
19, including the
19.
playoffs.
Yes, 19 including the playoffs. Yeah, it was a big shock a couple hours ago coming down the pipe. We don't know exactly why. I guess we can all guess it's something medical. Um, I don't. Maybe it is. I don't know what it is. I don't want to make anything, but huge blow to the Bears. We lost Ozzie for probably the season. Um, and now Drew Dalman. So now it's two holes we got to fill in the whole line, which was clearly our biggest strength all year.
Yeah, less than 365 days after signing a 3-year, $42 million deal. Um, they're cap compliant now, without having to make any cuts or anything, because 10 million of that's gonna come from Drew Dalman's salary that they don't have to pay. But you kind of hit the nail right on the head when you talked about, Ozzie Trapilla being out for the year. Now you got 40% of your offensive line you need to fill. And center is not a position you want to skimp on. That's a big, big hole that needs to be filled now. So it changes your offseason plans a little bit, I think. So you got to see what you can get for Tyson Bagent. If you're going to trade him, you got to see if the NFL is going to give you those 2 third-round comp picks for Ian Cunningham. Because they've been talking to the league and stuff about that. They've been kicking the tires. They had a visit for, the Washington Commander center who was cut, earlier this week. They were kicking the tires on Tyler Linderbaum, the center from Baltimore that didn't get tagged, but though they're saying he wants 20 million a year, he'd be the highest paid center in the history of the league. This changes things, Sean. It
Yeah.
changes things in a drastic, drastic way. Yeah, I think we can all assume it's medical. Like you said, 27 years old, played in all 19 games that the Bears appeared in this year. But you could tell as the season progressed, his production, his play kind of it just went downhill. It started to drastically change as the season went on. So I don't know. That is a shocker. I sent you that message. I had literally went into my car to go to lunch to grab something to eat, and ESPN radio popped on, and all I hear is they were talking about center. They I didn't catch the actual announcement, so then I went on X and I had seen that Dahlman had said he was going to retire, and I was just like, what the fuck? Of course, Ryan Poles, like we finally get the center position squared away, and he fucking retires less than
That's
a year after
exactly what I
signing
was
the
going to say.
contract. You
Because like
know,
we know how bad it is not to have a center, and then we get a real one for one season and see the instant improvement, and we're back to square one, I guess. Um, I guess the good thing now is the Bears, especially offensively, I imagine is going to be a free agent destination. I think guys will want to go play there, especially offensive linemen. Those aren't the types to you want to, you know what I mean. I want to go play in Florida. I want to go play in Texas. So a lot of those guys are Midwest guys.
well,
So we'll see how it goes.
I will say this: there's a difference between the centers that we've had in the past and any center that we can get in free agency or the draft this year, because one, Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson are a better guard combo than any guard combo we've had over the last several years. And Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than any of the quarterbacks we've had over the last several years. So I think that does help. Plus, having an all-pro right tackle and Darnell Wright.
Ben
You know what
Johnson.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah, Ben Johnson, Dan Rocher, the offensive line coach. I mean, he made Theo Benedict serviceable for 8 games as an undrafted rookie out of Canada. So I have faith. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's huge, huge news. Drew Dalman retires, age of 27. I just
Yeah.
laugh because it's like this is the 5th year in a row now since Ryan Poles has taken over where he's went into the offseason needing a left tackle and a center. We thought we had the center position figured out, and then less than a year later, center retires. Um, so let me ask you this: does it change any plans for Max Crosby? Because now, Max Crosby, the Bears, according to DraftKings, are the favorites to land Max Crosby at -150. But
Yeah,
with
it
the
shifted
news,
from like plus 600 to -1, which is
but with the
Vegas knows what they're
news,
talking about. So something
with
must
the
be
but
whispering.
here's the thing: with the news of Drew Dalman retiring and now a huge, area of need, are the Bears in the position to give up picks for more roster holes now?
I would say yeah, because I don't envision we were going to be drafting a center the first round, maybe a second round pick, but I'm guessing the plan at center is to get a free agent, if it's a veteran or what. But if there's a favorable Max Crosby deal to be had, they cannot let this deter them from it because we need Max. We just had Drew Dalman, and we saw that that wasn't enough. We need a little bit more on defense. We need somebody to get some sacks. We can't rely on getting a bunch of turnovers every game. That's just not gonna how it's gonna play out in the playoffs. So I hope that it doesn't change their plans because I think we still need Max Crosby as much as I would like to get Trey Hendrickson. Um, I just think Max is just better than him. He's younger than him. I think he's better in general. I know the numbers don't play that out, but I just think he is a superior player. If they've got something that works where they can get Hendrickson, Mack, and a center, and we can't get Crosby, then I'll live with it. But I hope that this doesn't take their eye off the ball, the Max Crosby deal, because I just think it's also one of like just those energy moves. We got to play keep away too. If we don't get them, there's whispers the Lions are going to get them. Same with like Trey Hendrickson. So we can't we've got to play a little bit of defense as well. But I know I've been talking about that. I know you got to be focused on your own team, but I don't know. Nothing's come out about what the Bears offered for Micah Parsons, but we saw how that played out. We let the Packers end up with them, and we had the last laugh this season. But I mean, there's still 5, 6 more years down the road to see who really won that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I would, I don't, as a fan, I would love Max Crosby on the Bears. But like I said, it just throws a ratchet in these plans. Like, yeah, of
Yes.
course, you're not going to take a center first round, but you could. If you want a guy who's going to be a starter. Now, I know Ryan Bates said that he's been working all season long at transitioning from being a guard to being a center. But we've seen Ryan Bates before. Do we really want to, you know, that's the thing is that,
If it's between Ryan Bates and starting at center and getting Max Crosby, then yeah, I would say. But no, I think there'll be other free agent guys. I'm pretty sure Glasgow is supposed to be a free agent. I'm pretty sure he got some experience with Ben Johnson. There'll be some other names. People are going to get cut. The NFL is a lot different. Every year we've seen it more and more. Less people get franchise tag. More people get cut. More people are getting traded. We could trade for a center. Like we don't know what we mean. We traded for Joe Thune. We don't know what's going to happen. People are going to have to cut people. Maybe we do give not Tyler, but the guy from the Ravens what he wants. I mean, if we have to,
oh,
like
Linderbaum.
yeah, like or maybe he takes 18 instead of the 20. Maybe the market's not going to give him the 20. Like we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't want to go in with Bates. But I just have faith that we're going to have. And like you brought up, I believe the Falcons came out and said they were kind of in agreement with the Bears that based on the verbiage that the Bears should get the compensatory picks. So hopefully we'll get those picks. And Ben Johnson has shown he's been pretty good at the draft his year one polls. Although a lot of these guys haven't panned out, it's been mostly like injury stuff. But he's been semi decent drafting the later round. So we get a center in the third round. But I really don't want to go into the season with a rookie center anyway, even if it is a first round or second round guy. So I'm kind of leaning getting the best veteran free agent we can get.
Yeah, it's we got the legal tampering period less than a week away. It's gonna be on Monday, next Monday. And it's just gonna be interesting to say the least. I know this was not in the realm of, plans. From what I understand, there was some whispers. That's why the Bears were kind of kicking the tires around, at the draft combine around centers, as well as kind of asking around about Tyler Linderbaum and stuff like that, doing their homework and things of that nature. Nobody really knew why, but I guess we know why. Um, and yeah, it's just we got a week where we'll see. We should be seeing some cuts or some trades here happening soon. The Max Crosby trade train seems to be on track and rolling pretty quickly. I would expect a deal within the next couple of days if there is going to be a deal for Max Crosby. I'm assuming both the Raiders and whatever team is going to trade for him is going to want to get out in front of making this trade so that way they know what they need going forward in terms of free agency and the draft. So I would expect to see a Max Crosby trade within the next few days if that's going to happen. And then yeah, off season's going to start getting frenzy here pretty quickly. So we'll see where we're going from that. You said you wanted to talk about the draft combine. What are your takeaways?
Well, I won't get too much into it. I kind of put it to the side once Dalman got cut. I was going to get more in depth to it, but I kind of wanted to. Obviously, Dalman's going to be the talk of the town, but there was a lot of interesting height, weight, speed guys at the end. The Bears talked to a lot of defensive ends and tackles. The full list hasn't really leaked out yet, but they talked to T.J. Parker from Clemson. They talked to the big defensive tackle McDonald from Ohio State. Um, I'm very intrigued. I think if we don't end up with Max Crosby, obviously if we get Max Crosby, we're not going to be picking at 25. Um, I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know what the deal would be. Um, and I guess we could talk about that too, what we might think a deal would look like. But at 25, if we don't have Max Crosby, I think there's going to be a lot of interesting people to take. I think T.J. Parker would be a good one. McDonald, I think, would be great to have. And there's a whole host of guys that I think, like I said, I don't got my notes in front of me, who I think would be great who will be there at 25, and would be a great addition if we can't end up with Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson. Um, but I have a feeling, I don't know what it is. Like you said, you saw the Vegas odds shifted. That we're going to end up with Max Crosby or Trey Henderson. I just think that it's like manifest destiny or whatever it was. Caleb went out recruiting with them. Then Max Crosby was in town after that. Um, it just feels like it's headed that way. And but who knows? I like the Micah to Green Bay thing happened in like 2 or 3 days. It kind of shifted, and then he was on the backer. So who knows? But the draft, I think this year is going to be interesting. I know we've talked about it's a down year where it's not a lot of huge hurrah guys, but I think there's some decent offensive linemen, a lot of good D lineman depth, linebackers galore, which I think we really need as well. There's just some wide receivers, just no quarterbacks, no Myles Garrett types, no the Marvin Harrison Juniors, but there's a few. Jeremiah Love, people like him a lot. I think Kansas City's picking in the top 10. I think if he's there when they pick, he'll be on the Chiefs. He ran a really good 40. Um, and then Caleb Downs, like I don't, I'm a big fan of Caleb Downs. So he's kind of, I think they said he fell out of the top 5. He didn't run very well, but I don't. I'm not a huge fan of the combine, and I am a huge fan of the combine, but and the numbers are gaudy and flashy. We love to see them, but we've seen time and time again it rarely translates. Um, if they weren't like really good on the field. Like, yeah, Tyreek Hill's 40 was good, but you saw him play too. He was amazing. Same with like Ed
Yeah.
Reed. He had a good 40, but you saw him play. He was good. But like John Ross, we saw him play in college. He wasn't that good. Like, there's guys who run these 40s and we've seen them play football. They're fast, sure, but it's not translating on the field. So it's really hard to judge. I forgot who exactly said it. It might have been on ESPN on Chicago radio, but I think they should do it with pads on. Um, I think that would add a little physicality to it when you're doing and do some one on ones. Nothing crazy, but like when you're running routes, go get some DBs out there, guys with pads on running routes against each other. Like it just seems really tedious in this day and age because it's these guys train so much. Like we've
Yeah.
seen them all run this shit 100 times. Like when we were younger, these guys played 3 sports. They weren't training football all year round. But now the guys who are in college, they train football all year round. They're doing those drills, all they perfected them. So it's
Yeah, they're
really,
workout warriors.
yes, it's really not impressive. And I don't want to poo-poo on it, but it's just like, and it's like they're all strong. Like, oh, they do a bunch on the bench press. Like, but it's like a lot of times, like I can do 225 a lot of times as many of those guys. It doesn't really mean anything. I can't go play. So like it doesn't really translate. Um, but Yeah, I think they should make the switch. Maybe doing it with even the quarterbacks. Like, what do I want to see you throw with no pads on? Like that doesn't even make sense to me. Like I never got that anyway because like as me and you were football players, you know how much different it is to throw with the fucking shoulder pads on.
Yes,
So
I
like
don't.
I never understood why they're throwing the like I kind of get the lineman stuff. You don't it's too physical. You don't want to get hurt in the combine. So I understand can't do one-on-one pass rush stuff, but I don't understand why the wide receivers, the DBs, the running backs, the quarterbacks, all those guys out there, they're not padded up because I don't want to see how fast you are without all your shit on. Like who cares how fast you are without your shit on? And
Yeah,
we've seen it historically like how many of the
well,
Hall of
there's
Famers are
there's
like
guys out there that
combine freaks?
train. There's guys out there that train specifically for the combine, and that alone should mean nothing. Like you said, it's all on tape. It's all on tape, and yeah, you want to see some of these guys, somewhat measure up. Maybe like the
Yeah, I
measurables,
want to see the measurable
height,
part.
weight, stuff like that, arm length. You know
I
what I'm
like
saying?
the
You
drills
can't.
too. I just think without the pads on, it seems like it's just pointless. Like even in high school, you really don't practice without pads on. Like you do the like out of like the state rules where like you can't the first couple days, but there's no point to go out there and run around, jump and throw the ball, catch and all that shit without your fucking pads on because you need those. So I really never understood why the quarterbacks and the wide receivers didn't go out there with their pads on. Like, so I get it with the linemen. They're going out there they're out there kind of showing their athleticism and shit like that because we already seen them bang in the paint all year round. But yeah, well, but I'm intrigued to see because Caleb Downs didn't do well. They say, you know what I mean, that's going to cost his draft stock. And me, as a football guy, if he falls out of the top 10 and ends up on a playoff team. Uh, that's gonna suck for the league. I think he's really just Honey Badger. Honey Badger only fell because was he got caught smoking weed or something. But I see him as the same player. He's a corner safety hybrid who can tackle, return kicks. He's very fast on the field. It didn't show up in his 40 time, but I've seen him play football. He's really fast. And on Ohio State, full of the best players in the country, and he stands out amongst all of them. And he's playing with some of the best players. Even when he was on Alabama, you saw him playing against Michigan with a national championship. He was arguably one of the best players on the field, on a field with like 8 guys who got drafted in the top 10. So we'll see. We really don't know what it's going to be like for the Bears. I'm really not trying to get too invested in mock drafts or anything right now because I think the vibes are we're definitely going to be at least without our first round pick. If it's a second, a third, um, I guess we'll segue into that. What do you think a Max Crosby deal to the Bears is going to look like? Do you think it's going to involve DJ Moore? I know Tremaine Edmonds is whispered out there. They said
Well,
it was,
I know the Raiders have interest in Tremaine
yeah.
Edmonds, and I've seen some stuff out there talking about like a DJ Moore Tremaine Edmonds package to kind of lighten the blow of draft picks. So it'd be like this year's first, next year a third next year, DJ Moore and Tremaine Edmonds, because you're giving them two starters at positions of need, plus an additional first round pick and a third round pick next year. And in terms of salary, salary wise, it makes the salaries match because you got, $38 million or whatever it is, or I think it's like 40 million or something like that, going to the Raiders and getting 30 back in Max Crosby. So it frees up a little bit of cap space for us, but they have a whole ton of money to play with anyway. And like I said, it gives them two positions of need as starters. And Tremaine Edmonds is still 27 years old. Like we're
He's a good
talking,
football player. He had
you
five,
know what I'm
what,
saying?
five,
We're
four
talking about the
interceptions.
guy. Yeah, like it's not. He came into the league at 19. He's an 8-year vet and he's 27 years old, and he's been fairly healthy for a majority of his career. Um,
I just think he doesn't fit.
so
Like he's a cap casualty. I think if he
yeah, so
made
I would
$5 million, we wouldn't even be thinking about trading him.
Yeah, so I would assume realistically, it's a deal that the Raiders might look at. But I would say I would be more comfortable trading both players to ease up on the draft capital compensation that would be going to the Raiders, only because we do have more, positions of need that we do need to fill, because it's not just left tackle, safety, another edge rusher, linebackers, because we're going to be going into next year with no linebackers. Noah Sewell tore his Achilles. DeMarco Jackson's a free agent. TJ Edwards broke his leg. Tremaine Edmonds is, on the trade block, if not getting cut.
He's
Like
getting cut.
there's a lot of holes that need to be filled. So if we can ease the draft compensation and free up some cap space to sign some depth, I'm perfectly okay with that. So realistically, that would be my go-to trade offer for Max Crosby if I can get the deal done. What about you?
I really don't want to lose DJ Moore. I know kind of at the end of the season I felt less and less. Just thinking about it now, like I don't like all of our receivers miss time. Like DJ Moore missed like some in game time, like he missed like a half or something, but I'm pretty sure he played in every single game. Rome missed a lot of time and he was inconsistent. I know DJ didn't have his best year, but I think that was just new offense, bunch of new targets. Colston Loveland is clearly a guy, so he got a lot of targets.
That
Um,
just makes him expendable.
um, yeah, but I feel like I would honestly, if we were going to lose a wide receiver, I'd see if they would run Rome Odunze instead
You
of DJ
gotta
Moore.
you gotta clear cap though. You're not gonna you can't make a you can't trade
Well, I
for Max
understand that,
Crosby.
but I
Hold
don't
on,
know. It
hold
has
on,
to be.
stop. You can't trade for Max Crosby and get a free agent center that's going to be, viable because you don't want to pull another Coleman Shelton and only spend $1 million on a fucking center. You're going to want to spend some money on a free agent center since you don't want to draft one and have one start as a rookie. So if you want Max Crosby and you want a viable center, you have to trade DJ Moore. There is no other option. There is none.
I don't know if that's true, just
That
because
there is
that's
none.
where they've got
There
to
is
get
none.
their.
Because now, no, because then you're gonna end up like Washington, kicking the fucking, cap down the road and stuff like
I
that.
mean, yeah,
And
I
then
agree.
when we have to pay Caleb Williams 60 million, he's a $60 million quarterback. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. He's gonna hit the 60
Well, I
million
mean,
dollar.
then yeah,
What's
but
gonna
then you
happen
figure it
then?
out then.
You can't, but you can't do
I don't.
that.
I don't. I
You
mean,
can't
you.
do that.
I
That's the
mean, Philly
problem.
does it all the time, and they figure it out. Like you gotta go all in sometimes, and
Yeah, but
I just think if we lose DJ Moore,
you can't expect Philly is one of those teams that is they've been doing it for years because they're a very
they
well
trust
run
their draft
organization.
process.
And Howie Roseman is Ryan Poles is not Howie Roseman.
No,
There's no comparison there. Howie Roseman is one of the greatest GMs that's ever been
no, I
in the
mean he doesn't
history
have
of
to
this
be him,
league.
but he could
Like
figure it out. Like I'm not saying it's got to be Howie Roseman.
you can't do that. It's just you're gonna say we could do that, and then when we're talking about this 3 years down the road and we're bitching about how we're kind of fucked.
Well, yeah, I mean I'm not
I'm gonna go
arguing
back
that.
to this. I'm
I'm
gonna
not
go
arguing
back to
that.
this. I'll be like, remember what you
I'm just
said
saying,
fucking
like,
three
I
years
don't see
ago?
in a world where we lose DJ Moore and we're the same team on offense, and now losing Dalman. I like Rome. I haven't seen that he's going to be DJ like better than DJ Moore. He's going to be as consistent as you every big moment. Anytime we needed a moment, and I know Rome caught that 4th and 8 one, but I'm just outside of that. When we needed a big play, and not only the touchdowns, DJ Moore caught multiple passes on those drives leading up to the touchdowns he scored. He's our healthiest offensive player. I mean, I don't like we're losing too much, and I don't want to be a whole different team next year. And Loveland missed time, Burden missed time,
We're
Rome
going to
Odunze
be
missed
because
time.
we're getting rid of all the people that were here during the Eberflus era, and unfortunately, DJ Moore was one of them. If you trade Rome Odunze, are you really going to have two 6 foot nothing guys play wide receiver on the outside? Because you're going to have Luther Burden and DJ Moore. You're going to be small.
I
You're
mean,
going to be like you can't.
that's what we were doing all year. Rome Odunze wasn't playing.
You have to mix it up. You
I know,
cannot.
but what I'm saying is we did that. We played all year without Rome Odunze damn near, and we were fine.
Not almost all. What he missed like 4 or 5 games,
I
six
think he missed
games
8
total.
or something like that.
Like he didn't miss half the season. He missed like 6 games, and they were
6,
all
and
towards
you
the
got
end
to
of the year.
count the games that the game he got injured in too. So it's like I don't have trust in him. I'm not saying again. I know I always am beating down on Rome, but it's available. Like DJ Moore is our healthiest wide receiver. We're gonna trade him, and if Rome misses 6, let's just say he misses 6 games again, fine or 5, but we're
I
fucked.
get that,
Like we're
but
fucked if he misses
if we're
5 games
talking
next
about
year.
having faith in Ben Johnson to go out and get a free agent center or whatever it is and turn him into a all-star caliber player or at least somewhat close, then we have to have that same faith that he's going to find a wide receiver that can come in and do the same thing.
I
That's
agree,
just
but I just think it's I just think it's less likely to
but not
get
at
a wide
28,
receiver, a
not at
wide receiver.
$28 million.
Because
Not at
like
twenty
you
eight
could
million
get,
dollars.
like you said,
What would you
Coleman
rather have?
Shelton.
Would you rather have DJ Moore at $28 million, or would you rather have Max Crosby at $30 million? Because you can't have them both. It's going to be one or
I
the
don't
other.
think
Which
that's.
one would
I
you
don't.
rather have?
Well,
Oh,
if I
which
would
one would
have
you
one
rather
of them,
have?
I would say Max Crosby. Yes,
Okay, then that's
but
what
I
it's
don't
going to
think
be.
that's. I don't think
That's what
that's
it's
the
going to
case
be.
with Tremaine. With us losing Tremaine, well, Dalman losing, that's 10 right there.
We're
Tremaine
only
Edmonds, that's 14.
yeah,
Like
we're
I like
only
they can't restructure one contract and get us a little bit more,
we're right now we're only over the cap by like 1.35 million
and we'll get
dollars. That's
more
with
cap
Dolmans.
because if we lose our first round pick, that'll be some cap freed up because it's that's protected, right? So we'll
Yeah,
get like five
it's
back or
set to the
something like.
side. It's set
Yes.
to the side. But still, like there's you still have more holes than
Well,
just
I'm just
that.
saying you get
You need
Guyota.
three starters. You need three starting linebackers, and then you need a starting safety. You need two starting safeties because we haven't even re-signed Kevin
Well, I
Byard yet.
know. I mean, I know that. I'm
Like
just saying that's what the GM gets paid to
you
do.
can't have them both. If you want Max Crosby, you have to get rid of DJ Moore. If you
Or
want
put
Trey Hendrickson, you have to get rid of DJ Moore.
no. I just think it's or you're leaving out or really risk your financial future.
Yes, but I don't think you and I have seen it enough. And yes, Ryan Poles has signed bad contracts, bad free agent contracts, but he's been pretty good about not fucking himself in the future and giving himself
I would
like
disagree with that,
flexibility
but
in the future. I I don't see. Could they? Yes, they could.
I just think this is the time where you do it, and that. But this is when you trust your drafting, and this is what happens with the Eagles, where it's like even amongst all this, they draft really well. So when the time does come where you got to pay the piper, you got some depth to fill your team with. It's like I I understand what you're saying, but the money don't always got to work like the NBA. Like they can figure, they can. There's plenty of guys that can ask to restructure their deals
yes,
and figure something
but
out.
do you know what you need to draft well, Sean? You need draft picks. And if you trade for Max Crosby without trading DJ Moore, you're giving up more of those draft picks.
I know, but
You
I'm just saying
so
you're gonna have
what
to hit on
I'm
some of them.
trying to
So,
I'm
well,
trying
you
to
still
figure
have
out what
seven other. I mean, you're still gonna have more. Like it'll be what a first this year, first next year, and a third or something. It's like you still got fucking six other picks. We're getting compensatory picks.
yeah, but
You,
those are premium picks we're
yes, I
talking
understand,
about.
but not
Like,
so much when you're the 25th pick in the draft.
but the Eagles do it every year. Is that not what you just said?
Well,
The
no, they
Eagles
draft
pick
well in the depth. They draft second, third round. They get fucking Cooper, the Riley Coopers. They get these N'Kobe Deans. They get these guys in the late rounds. They're half their offensive line. Like they do hit in the first round picks, but they're hitting on all their picks, not just the first round picks. And that's why I'm saying they can risk their first round picks. They can risk. They can trade up and do dumb shit, and with their first round picks like they did, they can sign Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown to stupid contracts because they have faith that their plan is going to work out. They'll figure it out in the future, and that's all I'm saying is have some faith that you'll make it work in the future. I mean, yeah, Caleb will want 60 million, but maybe we'll find out. Fucking, we don't need Rome. Like we won't have to pay him, and we'll draft some young wide receivers, and he'll have to go through his.
so then why can't we do that with DJ Moore now?
Well, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna be. That's not going all in. I just think that's
But you got to trust the process, right?
one step. Yes, but the process is in the future. I'm talking about next year.
DJ Moore's been on the field. He's been healthy, and sure, he's come up, clutch in certain moments. But in terms of productivity, it's not worth $28 million. You can't have a $28 million cheerleader. That's just like saying Grady
that's
Jarrett.
1 year though.
We're
That's
paying
1 year.
16.
But
We're paying Grady Jarrett $16 million to be a locker room leader, and there's no production on the field. And we're talking about cutting Grady Jarrett and how we want to cut Grady Jarrett. It's
what
not
DJ Moore did
different.
and what
It's not
Grady Jarrett
different.
did is way different.
No, it's not. It's
DJ
not
Moore
different
had
at all.
a bunch of yards and touchdowns and catches. What do you have?
A
60.
bunch of yards and catches and touchdowns. DJ Moore had like 600 yards receiving this year.
Yes,
He 300 yards less than what he had last year. 30 less catches. What are we
but
talking
that's not
about?
all him. That's the offense. They just did something. We ran the ball
He's
more.
exactly. He's expendable. He's
Well, I
more
mean,
expendable.
well, I'm just so you're saying Zedarius would have caught those touchdown passes and won us those games
No, but Luther Burden could have.
if he was on the field. He gets hurt,
He was hurt. What?
and he could have, but he didn't. He was in the game and he didn't.
No, he wasn't.
Well, he
If you
what?
look at it, no, he was
I'm
not.
saying like he was on the field, like
He was on the team, but he wasn't on the field.
Yes, and Penn Johnson decided to call a play to DJ Moore, not him. Because he trusted that DJ Moore was going to score.
Now that you see what he's able to do, and this is his going into his second year,
well, again,
you got to trust the young guys, right? You got to trust the process. DJ Moore is expendable. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, well, anyway, Rome Odunze is expendable. We literally played half the season without him.
But Rome Odunze doesn't cost $28 million to catch 60 balls and have 600 yards.
But that's what I don't think that's fair to hold the one down season he's had to be like, that's what you are now. That could have just been a down year because of everything. Like, how do I know he's not going to go right back to doing what he did the 10 years before that?
Because you have people now, the previous 10 years that he's been in the league, who else has been on the field with him to catch a ball? Who has he played with?
I mean,
nobody. He's been the only option.
Exactly, because he's healthy and he doesn't get hurt.
There's five different options on offense. And you can't pay somebody $28 million that's only going to give you 60 catches. You can't do that.
No, I agree that, but then you don't plan for him to have 60 catches again. Like that's what I'm saying. I agree. If I thought that he was going to have another 60 catch, 600 year, or 600-yard season, then I agree with you. I just think I don't know exactly what was going on. I watched the games. It looks like they just weren't connect. Like till the end of the season, him and Caleb just weren't linking up. But I didn't think he played bad. I think when his number got called, he made catches, he made big plays, and I just think for whatever reason, the Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, or whoever decided they weren't going to incorporate him as much. But everybody's expendable, like except for Caleb and Joe Tooney. Like, I think it would be a step back. That's all I'm saying. Like, yeah, we get Max Crosby. The defense might be a little bit better, but I think the offense would be worse. And they're talking about breaking records, and losing your best wide receiver isn't doing that.
He's not the he.
He had more. If we're grading people on what yards and catches they had, he had more than all of them.
I disagree. I don't think the offense takes as big of a step back as you think it does.
I don't think they're going to break the record for most points scored without him.
I really don't think the offense takes as big a step back as you think. We're going to agree to disagree on this one. There's no other way around it. I'm just saying
you brought up his numbers, but his numbers were better than Luther's and Rome's.
Because Luther Burden played 8 total full games.
Whose fault is that? That's a part of.
He was a rookie,
and he was hurt.
What do you want him to do? And you're paying a guy $28 million. You're not going to fucking pay him $28 million to not be on the field. So of course they're going to stick DJ Moore out there,
they paid
and their number 9 overall pick.
To not be on the field.
What are you talking about? That's the only reason why Luther
because he didn't get hurt, and they did
anyways. Because Rome Odunze ended up getting hurt.
Yes, exactly. Again,
hold on. Before Rome Odunze got hurt, we were all talking about how fucking great he looked, and this, that, and the other. Blah, 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 blah. But even when Rome Odunze was hurt, what happened the first game Rome Odunze missed? How many catches did DJ Moore have?
I can't remember.
One catch. One catch. And
how many?
They force-fed him. Hold on. And then they force-fed him the next game, and he had, 4 or 5 catches maybe? Sure, he made 2 great plays. Great plays for us. He had the overtime touchdown, which will always live. But to say that DJ Moore's season was worth $28 million, and to say that he was our best wide receiver because he was on the field, because he was on the field and he existed, is nonsense.
Well, that's not nonsense. He was the best. So now, because you get a pass because you got hurt because that's a knock against you. You don't get a pass because you got hurt. Being available is the best ability. I don't care how tall you are if you don't play. I don't care how good of a number 1 wide receiver you are if you don't play. That doesn't even matter. If you don't play.
Okay, so the best ability is availability. That's what you're saying.
I'm just saying.
If you if you have a center, let's just say again, Coleman Shelton plays all 17 games. Fucking garbage, sucks, terrible. Or fucking Theo Benedette. Hold on, Theo Benedette. He stayed healthy for the most part. So if you have a guy that maybe is a little bit hurt, every now and then, this, that, and the other, misses a couple games here and there, would you rather have? But he doesn't give up any sacks. He doesn't give up any penalties. You're gonna say that Theo Benedette's the better option there. He's the better player because he's on the field more. No.
Well, I won't necessarily say. I don't think it's the best
kind of what
ability.
You're saying.
What I'm saying, it's up there. I think obviously your talent is the best, but after that, how often are you playing? Like, and I think maybe Rome Odunze's ceiling is much higher than DJ's. I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is I don't think it's so far off that I'd rather have Rome Odunze for 10 games than DJ Moore for 19. And Rome has got hurt multiple seasons now. It's
I
not
get
just
that.
this year.
I'm
And
not disagreeing with
and
you
when
there,
he's in,
but what
and when
I
he's
am
in,
saying,
he hasn't had a better season than
is
DJ Moore. He
with
drops more balls than DJ Moore.
what I am saying, well, DJ had quite a few drops again
Yeah,
this
this
year
year, and
too.
even then,
Yeah,
and Rome
but
had more.
what I am saying is that going into next year, if you have DJ Moore at $28 million still on your roster, and he's still only getting a lion's share of the catches because there's a lot of mouths to feed. You're gonna feed Colston Loveland. You're definitely gonna feed Luther Burden, and Rome Odunze was the number 9 overall pick for a reason. So you're gonna try to, if he's healthy, you're gonna try to feed him. Where does DJ Moore fit in that? He doesn't. He's just a leader on the field.
I
And
mean,
yes, that's important, but not $28 million.
no, what I'm saying, I mean, where he fits in is catching important passes when we need him most. But I mean, that's just kind of how a lot of teams have multiple good weapons. Like, I
Yes,
don't.
but you have to put that trust into the younger guys at some point.
At
And
some
what
point,
better
I'm not
time?
saying at some point. I'm saying I don't think next year is the time to do that. If we're going to be trying to win a Super Bowl
I
before
I
Caleb
get it.
signs a deal, then I don't think now's the time. I agree with the sentiment in general. What I'm saying is I don't think next year is the year to do that.
I get it, but I personally believe that you cannot get Max Crosby if DJ Moore's on the roster. I just don't. Unless you're gonna ask him to take a restructure and take a massive pay cut, I just don't see that happening.
I don't
I
think they have to, like I said, restructure anybody to take a huge pay cut. I just think you kick the can down the road and you figure it out. Like, and at some point, you're going to have to go 2 seasons with like the Chiefs did with nobody's at wide receiver, with all rookies, like guys you didn't want to pay. Like that's just what it's going to happen. But
That's a huge risk.
I think our time is now. The NFC's still down, and like the NFC's not scary. It's still very winnable. We were a couple plays away from at least playing the Seahawks, and it looked like the NFC Championship was the fucking Super Bowl, really. So I just think, yes, I really want Crosby. I've been pounding on the table for a pass rusher for 2 years. But I think if we get Crosby and then lose DJ, I guess it also depends on what else we do. Maybe we get another veteran wide receiver that I think can fill DJ's shoes. What, sure. Um, but
As long as it's not Olamide Zacchaeus, I don't give a fuck.
yes, and you know me, I'm just like I said, the cap to me is always fugazi. If they want to make it work, they will make it work. And if they want to, they can. So that doesn't worry me. I'm not thinking about 3 years from now, like being the Saints. Like I think we got fucking Caitlin, we're gonna be dogs, so it won't matter. Like, um, and hope that's the case that we got one of the best quarterbacks in the league and he can do his thing like Josh Allen and play with a bunch of bums around him. In the future, after we already paid him and
Hopefully,
after we already won a Super Bowl, like
better results than Josh
yeah.
Allen.
But we'll see. Like I said, I'm not beating on Rome. I think right now DJ is better than Rome. I think Caleb likes Rome better than DJ and throws Rome the ball more. But I just think Rome might be slightly more talented. He's obviously bigger, but he's not as durable, and that's a big thing to me. We play in Chicago. It's gonna be cold weather. You're gonna get beat up and banged up, and when it's 10 degrees, everything hurts even more, and you don't want to go play even more. And your knee is, you know what I mean? The knee is even stiffer. Your ankle's even stiffer when it's below zero outside. And Rome hasn't shown us that he's got the toughness to be out there when we need him all year round.
Well, then we don't have a fucking dome stadium yet, so
Well, we did see some news on that. They voted on it. I think they're going to get it done. I think as much as the Bears would love a pay cut, I think the McCaskies do care about the legacy of the Bears, and they don't want the city of Illinois or the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago and the fans to be mad at them for leaving, even though they should. Like I said, I would have no hard feelings if they left. I don't want them to leave Illinois, but um, I like I said, this place is shitty. Like we all live here, and I think it's this weird argument where like people are like, "Well, you're defending billionaires." It's like not really defending the McCaskies. Yes, I am defending these billionaires, but in fairness, the McCaskies are our billionaires. They own the Bears. Like it's like I'm not fucking defending Bezos. Like we want the Bears to stay, so I have to kind of see it from their angle a little bit, right? Like I understand nobody wants to pay anything, but I always look at it like just in the taxes they're going to pay on the stadium alone, even with the deal, they're going to pay back whatever they fucking get from the taxpayers within a decade or so. Like, so it's that's where it's like I don't see what people complain. Yes, I don't want to help billionaires, but if you don't want to help them, then you can't be mad when they go do other stuff. Then, like, that's what I don't get. And honestly, I was arguing with people in the comments, like, people are like, "Oh, why are we helping billionaires?" Well, fine. If you don't want to help them, then let them do whatever the hell they want. And don't judge them for it. Like, it's status quo for the state and the city you're in to help pay for the stadium. At least the infrastructure. Most places pay for the whole fucking stadium.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have this misconception that the Bears still owe money on the Soldier Field renovations, and they
Because the
don't.
mayor and the governor are disingenuous when they make statements saying the taxpayers still owe money on the stadium, and it's like what they're saying is they mismanaged your fucking money that you gave them, and they don't know how to pay their bills properly. But the
Well,
Bears and the NFL paid their shit off right away.
the process was supposed to be that the hotel stay tax was gonna pay for the Soldier Field renovations, but when COVID hit, tourism went down, and things, and they ended up losing a whole bunch of money. And then yes, they can't balance a budget. We all know that.
Yes.
So yes, they are very disingenuous in how
And
they
it's
approach the
that, and it's
situation.
their stadium. Like that's not
Yes,
the fucking Bears stadium, so it's like, why the fuck does it matter anyway? Like that's what people don't get either. They act like Soldier Field is the Bears. Like that's not their stadium. So who cares if they don't like? There's money owed on it. That's the state stadium. They play fucking fire game. They used to. They play fucking soccer matches there. They have fucking high school games there. All type of shit. So it's like the Bear. They should a. Why don't they just sell the fucking stadium, the Bears, and let them do what the fuck they want with it? That's what the
Wrigley
Bears
Field
wanted to do in the first place.
Wrigley Field pays like $2.1 million in
Property
property
tax.
tax a year.
Soldier Field's
Comiskey,
nothing.
yeah, Soldier Field's nothing. Comiskey Park, well,
No, guaranteed
the
rate field. Yeah,
guaranteed rate
but
field
it's like yes,
pays nothing.
and it's like,
Yep.
can't you see how crooked that is? That the field that they own, the stadium they own, you don't have to pay any property tax. But if the Bears ask for any kind of cut, they're greedy billionaires. Like that doesn't even make, and like that's where it's like I was getting really frustrated arguing with our subscribers. We really appreciate it, and I'm not. I really don't want to be arguing over politics when it seeps into sports. But like, look into it. Like I know, like these guys spin stuff like the mayor is saying stuff like, "Oh, they still owe money on the stadium." It's like, no, they still owe money on the stadium. The Bears pay all their bills, and while there are billionaires, and I'm sure they are greedy, they haven't done anything to fuck us over. The Illinois politicians and the fucking mayors of Chicago have routinely screwed us over, fucked their money over. How many times have they raised taxes already and had nothing to do with the fucking Bears? Like that's what I don't get. Where it's like, yeah, maybe I'm fine. I am defending the billionaires, but like I said, there are billionaires, and why the fuck are you defending Illinois politicians when like 10 of them have been arrested and literally went to prison in the last fucking 20 years? Like yeah, and hopefully it's coming to an end because I think as much as the fan, I think the McCaskies don't like the turbulence. They don't like everybody talking shit about them, so they're gonna make it work. But they're gonna take a bad deal to go to Arlington Heights. No matter what they end up getting, it's gonna be a deal that was gonna be way less than what they could have done with Indiana. And I hope that Bears fans in general understand that and show a little class and be grateful that they did something like that because you wouldn't do that in the same situation. And I'm tired of arguing with people pretending like they would lose $500 million just to be loyal to fucking the state of Illinois. Like, and that's
Yeah,
what I
no
mean.
shot,
That's what you're asking
no
the
shot.
McCaskies to do out of
If the
loyalty
state of
to
Illinois,
Bears fans.
if any other state, if the state of Indiana approached you right now and said, "Look, we're gonna buy this property for you. We're gonna build your house any way that you want it, and you're gonna rent it. We're gonna rent it to you, and you can buy it for $1 at the end of your lease." You would literally say, "Okay, where do I sign?" You'd
Yeah,
probably give up your firstborn child
you
or
wouldn't be like,
chop off a
you know
limb.
what? I'm gonna
You know what
spend a
I'm
million
saying? Like,
dollars and be
yeah,
loyal to Chicago. Like, no, and it's like so I understand like fans being mad that we couldn't make this work, and I understand the sentiment of saying, hey, out of a moral position or whatever position, I don't want to be using taxpayer dollars to subsidize billionaires. That makes sense to me logically. I understand that, but then you can't turn around and be like, they're greedy for not fucking. They're greedy for not paying fucking $1 billion instead of doing it for free. Like none of us would show that loyalty, and I say that to people all the time. It's easy to pretend like what you would do if you were the fucking Bears owner, but I'm just saying, and you scale it down to your fucking life. Just think of a house. If Indiana was going to offer your house for free, just to live in it forever, or you pay $500,000 and pay the property taxes to live in Illinois, and you're going to decide, you know what, I'm going to stay in Illinois just out of loyalty to Illinois, to all my friends and family. Like, no, you wouldn't do that. So I just think it would just be no harm done. Like, if that's what the McCaskies ended up doing, I would totally understand it, and I would obviously I want them to stay in Illinois to be in Chicago, just so I don't have to deal with the whining of everybody. I don't see what the big deal is anyway, especially as an older person who doesn't go to the fucking games. But we've lived through this. They've made Soldier Field this a historic landmark, and it is whatever. But there's no nightlife around it. You can't even fucking tailgate there. Like the biggest play park in McCormick Place, where everybody has to fucking park for the most part. You can't tailgate there. You can't goof off there. Like there's nothing, no bars and shit surrounding it. Like it's just not what a stadium should be in a NFL like metropolis area. Like,
especially a top three market.
yes, and everyone loves Chicago. Chicago is some of the best nightlife. So it's like, and we saw the thing where they wanted to build another stadium on the other side or whatever, and like extend it out. Like I don't know exactly, but they've been trying to work with the city of Illinois on this bullshit, and they don't want to. Illinois doesn't want to play ball. They've fucked up so much that they're scoring brownie points with the poor people in Illinois, being like, "Look at me, I'm a billionaire fighting against the billionaires. I'm not gonna let them." And it's like, and then you end up folding anyway. So just waste everybody's fucking time and made everybody
Yes.
mad in the first place. So it's like when
Yes.
you knew you were gonna fold, you really had no choice, and because of how much money this you were gonna lose not having the fucking Bears games in Illinois. And what I was trying to explain to people, the Bears are paying for the stadium, and that's $2 billion they're about to give a bunch of people in Illinois to build their stadium for them. So it's fucking 2 billions of fucking jobs and union workers. It's like people are retarded, and I don't mean to be rude, but it's like you guys aren't thinking. Like, yes, the city is going to give the Bears money to build the stadium, but then the Bears are going to give it right back to the city or to people who live in the state in the city, and it's going to go right back into the economy. They're not going to fucking not taking the money invested. They're taking it to pay for builders and plumbers and electricians and all the shit you need to build all this shit in 3 years, and that's jobs for 3 years for people who live in fucking Illinois, like or in the surrounding area. And it's like you guys aren't thinking. And if they go to Indiana, that's jobs for them. And that's why Indiana's fighting so hard because yes, you end up giving them money, but they give it right back to you.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. It was very well said. That's
All
a
right.
round of applause.
Couple more things. Where the fuck did this go? Dalman retires. Crosby. Kyler Murray's getting cut.
Yeah,
We
that's
knew
knew
Tua was
that was
getting cut.
coming.
I just wanted to bring that up because I have a sneaky feeling he's going to be in Minnesota. Him or Tua is going to be in Minnesota. We're going to be playing them.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I,
I like Kyler. I'm big on Kyler. I think he's a winner. I think sometimes you go to the wrong place, and I think
I don't think
with
his
Sam
head is in it.
Darnold, yeah, no, that like maybe it was in Arizona or maybe it took leaving somewhere and growing up. A lot of these guys are, especially Kyler Murray, is one of the best Texas high school. He says to be the best Texas high school football player ever. He won state 4 years in a row as a quarterback, starting as a freshman in one of the toughest like conferences. Then went to college and won the Heisman. I think a lot of these guys they need a wake up call, and I do think a change of scenery might be. I just think Kyler's got all the fucking tools. He's really
I would
good.
much rather see Tua than Kyler.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
agree with you there.
I don't know.
Because Kyler, at least Kyler's stats, and the way he plays and stuff like that, you could see it. He's got talent. It's there. It's just, is his heart in the game
Yeah,
still?
but I don't know. I think they gave that to us. Now that like I kind of felt that way about Caleb, and then you see him every day, and you realize that that was just kind of like a narrative getting fed to you. I just don't know. I don't know if that was just he was having a downtime in Arizona, and they kind of put that label on him. Like I know the stuff with Call of Duty came out and that he wasn't studying, but I
They gave
like
him the homework clause.
yeah, but I don't know. But all right, like, follow, subscribe. Let us know what you think about Dahlman in the comments. And if how you feel about the Arlington Heights. Yeah, it's gonna be in Arlington Heights. It ain't gonna be in Chicago. But
Yeah.
Yes. Again, like, follow, subscribe, keep it up. We're grinding. 21K
And do you
subscribers
agree
now.
with me or Sean in terms of DJ Moore being
Yes.
expendable?
It's
Because that got heated.
really,
I want to see the comments get just as heated down there.
yeah.
Who are you on, Team Tommy or Team Sean? I want
Yes.
to know.
Rome or DJ. But adios.
It's not even Rome or DJ. That's not even what that conversation was.
Well, that's basically my point. Is that it's just like I don't trust Rome, and if we lose DJ, I'm basically saying Rome, here you're the guy. You got to lead us to victory. But all right, again, like I said, like, follow, please, comment, all that stuff. Keep it up. We're growing, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Adios. Bye.